I turned to drugs and alcohol at 8 years old is when I started actually drinking and doing drugs. And it wasn't that that they made me feel good. It was just that I found a way for me not to feel anymore. And I didn't realize that till today. Like, that's what I was doing. It was an escape because I had no escape. I was a kid. Where was I going to run? Where was I going to hide? 40 years old, I was sitting in waiting trial. I was facing a life sentence, and I had $50 to my name, not a car, no job, nothing. We cleared $10 million in revenue last year.
What's up, guys? We're here for another episode of the Discipline Legacy Podcast. I got my boy Tim Eman, local electrician, man of God here, Port St. Lucie. Man, I love to get people in here that are local. I've just definitely gotten a lot of feedback. This guy's absolutely killing it in his industry. He's killing it, helping other men. Has amazing family, man. I'm super excited to have you here, man.
Man, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you, Jonnie.
We've been trying to connect, man. I feel like we're both on the same level, I think, with business and being busy. And I was just finally, we reached out, like, let's just do it.
Yeah, no, I know you through Kevin, your Bible study, and then I was like, we bump into each other every time. I'm like, man, Jonnie, let's hook up. Finally, we just, being in business, as you know, we're kind of busy, but we just like, we got to pull the cord, right? So here we are. We did
man.
It.
But yeah, so appreciate you being here, man. And we, it seems to always happen before we turn the cameras on. We've really just had a deep conversation. So I know there's a lot for us to talk about. And let's just go ahead and start with let's hear your story, man. Let's hear how it all started for you and what got you to where you're at.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in West Palm, man, and typical family. Somewhere along that line, though, my mom was young. She was real young. She wasn't really suited to have a child. She was pregnant I think at 15, had me at 16. And my grandparents flew me up to Indiana where we were farmers. And that's where I lived for most of my life, about 5 years of my life, I'm sorry. But, we grew food and lived off the land, and it was just country bumpkin fun. It was a good time to be a kid. But somewhere along that, man, my mom grew up a little bit, met this guy down in West Palm, and decided she wanted me back. So, hey, I went back. Shorten up the story a little bit in there. I ended up back with them, but it was the guy didn't like me, didn't want me, and mom's still kind of young and following his lead, extremely verbally, physically, mentally abusive. Mm-hmm. It was just unbelievable.
And how old were you when that happened?
That was around 5 or 6, right around there, and that continued for a long time. But during that whole time, it was bad, man. Don't need to get into all the war stories, right? But it was a lot, and especially for me. I mean, there were some horrific times between the beatings and everything else, and that it wore on me as becoming a teenager. It wore on me to where I turned to drugs and alcohol at 8 years old is when I started actually drinking and doing drugs. And it wasn't that that they made me feel good. It was just that I found a way for me not to feel anymore. And I didn't realize that till today. Like, that's what I was doing. It was an escape because I had no escape. I was a kid. Where was I going to run? Where was I going to hide? So, and it was introduced to me through a separate place of family members, my aunts, uncles, and them that had lived this wild lifestyle, man, their whole life. Hippies, Woodstock, rock and roll. They used to play in like barns up there, and it was they were just good old fun people. But for me, that was fun. Like, I was seen, I was heard, I was loved. I mean, it felt good to hang out with those people versus where I was, where I felt like I needed to crawl under a rock and disappear. And so it was tough. But by doing that, it really set the stage for some horrific things that happened throughout my life as I grew up. Drugs, alcohol, crime, violence. I became very angry and violent, and fighting became my thing. Hurt people, right? Yeah. So, and as life progressed on, in and out of detention centers, mental institutions, drug rehabs, jails, prison, it didn't matter. Most of my life, I was in that system. I knew no better, and I was constantly just getting in trouble and doing things I just should not be doing, and constantly using substances. And that wasn't till later on. I finally at 40. I'm 49 years old now. Going to be 50 in July. I made it 30 years longer than I thought. But 40 years old, I was sitting in waiting trial. I was facing a life sentence, and did some things I shouldn't have done, and obviously. And my grandmother, who was the woman of my life, I loved this lady to death. She was my everything. She passed away while I was locked up. And and that really hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I didn't know what to do. So there was this judge that just kept offering me a plea because some of the charges weren't sticking, how it worked out, and they were dropping off, and I was able to get away with a little bit of time in there, and then a program. If I would take this program, I could get out with some paper, and I was good to go. But I was part of NA, AA, LMNP, QRT, VA. It didn't matter. I did all those recovery things, court-ordered, whatever, and I was like, nothing ever stuck with me, man. Right. Nothing ever worked for me. And nor did I even care. And I didn't know God at the time, so, that was all hocus pocus. Right. But I did know one thing. I was a chameleon. I could fake it till I make it. I could pull the wool over anybody. So finally, push came to shove. I figured I could beat some time, get out of there, go hang out, get some food, hang out, get fresh air. And so I took the plea finally, and I didn't know what was coming on this time, right? 40 years old, taking this plea to go to some treatment facility called Faith Farm in Boynton Beach. I was like, this is crazy, right? I'm Christian? I'm not Christian. But sure, I'll try it. I can fake it. If anything, I'll just do the time. So I get down there, man, and wow, I get in this bunkhouse. I go over this little bridge, and, they unshackle me at this little glass window, and they're like, here he is, and the guy's like talking to me, and this guy pulls up on a golf cart. He says, "Come on in, boy." Throws my plastic bag I had from jail in the back, and I take off on this golf cart. And I'm looking around like, you could go off anytime you want. You can leave. It doesn't matter. I'm thinking, and my head's already going now. I'm thinking, man, if I don't like this, I'm walking right back over that bridge. But I didn't know what was coming, man. So nice old dude. He gets me back there, brings me in the bunkhouse, and it was kind of like a pod in jail or prison. They were all shacked up on top of each other, and we were hanging out. And they were in levels, level 3, level 2, level 1. As you worked your way through the program, you got to lower down to the lower bed, then finally got your private room. It was pretty cool. So, of course, I'm on top bunk because I just got there, and whatever, man. So I got in there and did my thing. And that's the beginning of my introduction to the Lord Jesus Christ. That was the start of the process.
So not even in like jail or anything, or you like reading the Bible yet or anything. It was just brought to you as a part of your punishment, really. I mean,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was part of.
So Palm Beach, obviously, you were in, gun club and.
Yeah, gun club. I've been in every one of them. Gun club, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I've been in Rock Road, Orlando. I've been on them all. I've been in every one of them. Not proud to say it today.
I went to Rock Road last night.
Yeah, I'm going there Monday.
Nice.
I'm bringing in a meeting Monday.
Nice.
So can you believe that? The tides have changed.
Guess who, the guy who came in with us last night is in charge of Palm Beach, and I said, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'll go to gun club,
It's the craziest thing how God has worked in my life. Now, when I got in this program, of course, here's the crazy part, what lined up besides AA and NA, which I got a lot of massive steps out of that and a lot of recovery out of it. But something was always missing, man. And I was always taking my will and doing what I wanted, and I had no idea what that void was and why. The only thing I didn't know how to do was fill that void. I was really good at making myself better. I was self-medicating easily, and that's where I just couldn't get it. So these guys had me sitting in a church, which I never really like to do, quietly meditating. As I looked around, everybody's doing praise and this, that, and the other. Some guys were laying on the floor, and I'm just thinking, what did I sign up for?
Do you think it was better to go into it as being fresh? I mean, obviously having a background of 12-step, but because I feel like that's my story too, is that I never grew up forced to go to church or anything. Once or twice my friends' parents invited me to go to vacation Bible school or whatever, but I never had it forced down my throat. Right. And then I think that 12-step conditioned me for it to be a good Christian. And then whenever it was I was faced with man, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it paved step 1 to 12 and the traditions and or what we have as the principles in Celebrate Recovery. But those paved the way to give me some kind of building blocks, right? To kind of, okay, well, that's cool. That relates to step 3. Or,
yes.
Okay, there's step 1.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
okay, that kind of lines up, So with my mentality, I have to make sense out of things, and if it doesn't make sense, I ain't got no time for it, right? It's like a UFO. I don't see it, I don't feel it, I don't want it, right? You good for you. So that's how God was for me. It was like, yeah, right. That's Santa Claus, Easter Bunny. Stop. Unless you can give me something tangible, I'm tired of hearing about it.
But did you like notice after, I guess for me, like whenever I first became a Christian, I look back and I'm like, he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Every step of the way. Like he was there, but I just wasn't looking.
Exactly.
I didn't see it.
Today, even in my testimony, when I give it at the churches and stuff, because I go around to quite places, I mentioned that he was riding shotgun the whole time, and I had no idea. And he never wastes a hurt. So some of my trials and tribulations were tests, and there's never a testimony without a test. And I had to pass this test in order to go on to the next level, right? And that is just part of life. What a good father. Yeah. What a good father. See, I never had a dad. Never had a dad in my life, which was another issue I had, obviously. So when I did find the Lord and found him as my father, it wasn't just a religion or any of that. I actually found a father. Yeah. He met the son, and boy, did he deal with the son. He put me through things that I didn't like. There wasn't like, oh, unicorns and rainbows. Right. I'm saved.
No.
And then all money flew and cars and jewelry. No, man. It was giving me what I needed, not what I wanted. And there were some repercussions for my actions that I had to pay for. But what I learned was he's there, and I had to lean into him. And my faith is what grew. I always refer to Simon getting out of a boat in the middle of a storm. Like, is this guy crazy? Like, there's sharks, there's waves, and some floating guys in front of you, and you're just going to step out and walk on water because he said to? It's like, that is faith beyond recognition. Like, that's the kind of faith that I want, and I strive for every day, and that's where I was in early recovery. Like, if one man can do it, another man can. I always told myself that. Like, there's nothing that's impossible without the Lord Jesus Christ, and man, your mind as a man is more powerful than we let ourselves believe. We fail ourselves, I believe, and we give up on ourselves before anything, right? And that's where I had to change that mindset. And biblically, that's what did it between the steps and my faith growing, realizing that my promise isn't even here. Like, I'm wasting my time worrying about all this. Like, who cares? Yeah. It's there.
When was that? What was that aha moment?
That aha moment was 2000. When did I get out? It's 2017 is when I went in to the farm on April 11th, 2017. It's actually my daughter's birthday. And it was probably once I got through the church and I came to CR, and I found the Lord one night. We were at a praise and worship, and this song came on by Hillsong called Oceans. And I've never heard it before. But I knew that they played the video, and I knew the girl was pretty, and that's all that mattered to me. I was like, man, she's hot, man. I'm going to watch this video, right? And I'm like jamming out, a little catchy, God knew how to get to me, man. He knew how to get to me with the music and the beautiful creature and the food and the snacks, and he got me to sit still and just, man, and the Holy Spirit tore into me that night, and I actually bursted out in tears, and I never cried. I never showed feelings. I never cried. And that was part of my hard candy shell. Like, I just would not expose me. It was always the representative, the monster, basically, is what I called him. And when I did that, I got back to the bunkhouse and I talked to one of the guys in there. And I said, "Hey, bro, this isn't like what is up with that, man? I couldn't stop." And he's like, "Dude, check this out, man." He goes, "I've been here a long time," and he goes, "That's called love, brother. That's the Holy Spirit, man." He said, "You just got to keep coming back." He goes, "Don't fight it." So me being an addict, that feeling was great. I'm like, I'm going back. So I did. I kept coming back, but I was chasing that feeling, that fuzzy, warm, like I was being hugged, like almost like it was just uncontrollable, but it was amazing feeling. And that was like the aha moment for me, like, because the more I chased that, the more I dove into the Word, the more I got into those small groups and those large groups. I joined a step study with Celebrate Recovery that was introduced to me there in the program, the first time I've ever seen CR, and it started lining up with the Bible. Then the steps made a little more sense, like what we said earlier. Now it was like lining up biblically with Matthew and all that. I'm like, wait a second, man. So this goes way back? Like, wait a second. So the Bible became even more real to me. And the more I dove in, the more I started becoming knowledge hungry. I became knowledge hungry. Like, man, I want to know more. So I started surrounding myself with people that were good in theology. We were part of a Bible college down there, the Ream Bible College. So I was asking questions, taking notes, because I wanted to know. I wanted to find the hole. I wanted to find the lie. The problem was there was none, and as hard as I kept looking, the more I realized how truthful and how much my life was changing for the better. And that was really the aha moment right there in that program. And I actually got baptized in that program in front of everybody in that church and gave my life to Jesus Christ right then and there, and have not looked back since. And 9 years later today, here I am. I have a beautiful wife. See, during that process, all my kids were taken from me. I had nothing. When I got out of that program I had $50 to my name, not a car, no job, nothing. I had a sidewalk and 2 pairs of Nikes, and that was it. And I was on a mission to try to get my driver's license. And then I knew a guy that was in Georgia that was an electrical contractor up there that had some work. So I was like, man, I can
Has that always been something you did, was electrical work?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, I was a lifeguard for a little while and a few other things. I was a street entrepreneur and a few other things, but yeah. But electrical's always been my thing, but I was like, man, I'll geographical relocation, change my people, places, and things. I'll do it, right? Even though that's not the cure. But in my mentality, I'm like, I'll do it. So I was going to work in Georgia. God. Every time we have a plan, he laughs like, oh, yeah, good for you, but watch this. So just like God has done in my life, I got intercepted, man, and I was blessed I got a vehicle. My grandmother, when she passed, left me some money in a safe. It was enough to get my vehicle and get me to work. And then I met my beautiful wife out of a fluke. And she was a Christian woman and just so happened to just be single and ready to mingle. Let's put it that way, And from that day forward, we actually our first initial date was to have coffee, right? And for me, that's odd.
I said ice cream with my wife.
I was like, for me, it's like, usually we go to the bar, we hang out, we hit the club, hotel, whatever. And I'm thinking, I even call my sponsor. I'm like, bro, what do I do? Like my steps are not going to be good. So
I didn't call my sponsor because I wasn't supposed to have a girlfriend yet.
Yeah. Well, I was just allowed, so I cleared my year. He said nothing for a year, so I cleared my year. And he was like, listen, just call me if you need me, but just coffee, go home. Okay, so I played that. So that went on. Our second date was I took her to Walmart, and I bought her a vacuum. Nice. The woman needed a vacuum. This is very out of character for me, right? So I'm thinking to myself,
was it like a Roomba? Or
I don't even remember. Dirt devil. I don't even know. But she needed one. She was a single mom at the time, and that's I showed up because we never cordially met besides the prior. So she did a background check on me. Freaked her out, bro. Freaked her out. I was driving to her house. She told me, no, get away from me. Get out of my life. Don't come near me. Turn your truck around. You're a liar. You're this. Wow. Yeah, it was bad. So here I go, working my 12 steps, anger, attitude, control, will, all this. I'm running through my head. So I had to, talk to her, and I had to be honest. Step one, denial, right? I had to come out of denial straight up and just say, hey, whatever you want to know, ask it, and I'll tell you. While I'm driving my Jeep. And she did. And as she's asking and asking and asking, I'm being honest, she goes, you know what? Forget about it. Come to my house. I need to go to Walmart. Will you take me to Walmart? I was like, are you sure? She goes, yes. I said, yeah, I'll take you to Walmart. So I did. I turned my Jeep back around, drove up there in her driveway, and when I got there, she just came up and gave me the biggest hug. And later on, I found out, she said, I don't even know why I did that, but when I did do it, I felt safer than I've ever felt in my life. And I felt a connection right away, which was amazing. And then as she hugged me, she told me, will you buy me a vacuum? So later on in life, we joke about this meeting and how it all came about. But God is good, man. God is good. 9 years later.
I said that was very similar story to mine and my wife because, same thing. I just laid it all on the table. And now I do it all the time. I don't, but that was like a door open for me because I always lied. I always never told people who I really was. I had the mask on. Like I could be anybody I needed to be to do what I needed to do. And that was freeing. It was the first like freeing part of my life where I could, I could truly be myself with somebody. Because even with the girls in the past, like most men, that's how we don't give them our all. We
give them the representative, right? And that was one thing my wife did mention is later she said, you are probably the most honest man I've ever met in my life. Like, I can't believe you said the things and told me the things you did. Yeah. And I told her, I said, well, thank you. I didn't know what else to say besides thank you, and I've been working on myself.
That's what I think men need to. We need to be talking more about stuff like that. We need to be bringing that out and bringing it to the light, because it's really how we're taught growing up as just young kids in school, and how our dads, or people that are around us when we're younger is like, we need to be making it okay to be honest, making it okay to say that, hey, guess what? I cried when I watched, that movie last week. My wife jokes with me because I'll be tears. She's like, you're crying? Like, really? I'm like, sorry. Like, dude, Sundays, like every Sunday in church, I got tears running down my face. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't even be talking to you right now. Like, I'm just truly grateful. And I get more from that, I think, from on a Sunday than actually sometimes the message. But praise and worship and gratitude and looking at what we got and what we definitely don't deserve. But
yeah, it's what I do even with my sponsees. I make them write a gratitude list, and every day I tell them at least 3 things on that gratitude list of what you're grateful for, and then when we talk, let's talk about it, because we forget the little things we should be grateful for, like the monster you're holding, like the air we're breathing, like having the ability to brush our teeth, like clean water. Pillow. There's so much in this world that we can be grateful for, but you don't realize it till you have to really write it, right? Because
you're intentional about looking at it, yeah.
Because what happens, even for me in my life, I think I have over 1,700 things on my gratitude list as of today, and maybe even more. I may be mistaken.
So you just keep adding to it.
And here's what kills me, and it's crazy, is you think you're going to run out of things to be grateful for, but what happens is you go for that low-hanging fruit first. I'm grateful for my truck and my job, and then you start to run out of those things. Now you start looking at your shoelaces and socks and your clean clothes and your laundry, and you start realizing, like, bro, like, I got a lot to be grateful for. So when I get in the rut of, oh, this sucks, oh, life's tough, this, that, and the other, I go to my gratitude list and open it up, and I start reading some of the things I'm grateful for, and I realize, dude, I have a lot to be grateful for, and that little drama right there has, God, that's yours. I'm good. I'm solid. And I think that has helped me tremendously in my life because of the way I'm wired throughout my history, that my growing up, is I'm quick to hang on to the ugly, right? I'm good with that, man. I'm solid, because that's the enemy stuff, right? He wants to play with me to keep me. I was one of his best soldiers. Of course he wants me back. So all the failures and all the nastiness and all the bad things, oh, man, you're not worth it, bro. You shouldn't be here, and you're this and you're that, and if in the manipulation of the Bible and the words and the beliefs, and it's just like, nah, man, I ain't got time for you. See, he does play chess. Checkers, right. Chess. Yeah, he plays chess, but I think he plays checkers. He's kind of a fool, if you ask me. But once you get to know him, But yeah, me and you both.
But that's the thing too, is that, like, even, you talk about like atheists and stuff, or somebody, if you believe in the devil, you have to believe in God. So, I didn't think about it then. Like, now I call my disease the enemy. Like, I don't say I'm an addict or an alcoholic, and it may be different for some people, but this is just me. Because like, I just say I'm a new man now today, but I believe that because every time I put something inside of myself, no matter what it was, drugs, sex, the love of money, no matter what it was, it made me feel better or feel different. It changed me. It turned me into a different person. So I truly believe that it's almost like being possessed in a way. So like, I call that the devil, the enemy.
Right on the money, man. It's biblical.
Yeah.
It speaks of it. They were casted out.
And then death and life is in the power of the tongue. So if I say, hey, I'm an addict, or hey, I'm an alcoholic, I'll always be that. And that's,
Yep.
I had a problem, right? I don't anymore, because it's a daily renewing of the mind.
Exactly. Right. So my struggles today is Tim and life on its terms.
Yep.
Plain and simple. But I have been redeemed of drugs and alcohol. The
I'm
Lord-
one bad decision away from being right back where I was at,
2
though.
seconds, brother. Gone.
That's it.
So I always laugh because I'll be in the groups in room 8, and then I'm like, hey man, I can tell you right now, who's got 20 years, who's got 10 years, who's got most recovery in the room, and guys are all doing this. I said, you know the truth, and I'm going to expose the truth right now to this recovery game. The person with the most recovery in this room is the guy who woke up first. That's it, baby. Because that's all we got is today. So I don't care how many years you got. Let's just do today, And that's the most important thing to remember in recovery in life. Our stresses, our worries, on all of that, we got to give that to God and worry about today. Be in the moment, right? And being in the moment is key for my kids, key in for my wife and my business and everything I've walked through in life. I've learned that I have to reel it back, man. Stop being Tim and just stay right here. Like right now with Jonnie. That's just where I'm at. I don't care what's going on in the company or anything else. Right. It's just me and you right now. So that's where I got to stay, is in the moment. And that's tough.
It's tough getting to that point, man. It takes practice, really, because even early on in my recovery, I remember like just being so filled with anxiety about my chest would hurt sometimes, and I was never that person was like I got to take a Xanax or something, but I was like I noticed it later because of everything I put my body through, the trauma really is what it happened to every part of my body through what I did was like, but I had to practice saying, you know what, I'm good, I'll get through this. Everything was, even when I stopped dipping, like I remember I'm like, man, it's the first time I ever stopped any nicotine or anything cold turkey without being like in jail or something. Yeah. But I just remember going through it like those couple days after. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And I would get through another day. I'm like, I'm not doing it again. And you know why I stopped? Because of my wife. I used to try to hide it. She's like, I'm not kissing you ever again. So I'd be like, we go out to eat. Like, I'm going to get the truck. Walk out there, throw a big horseshoe in real quick. She'd walk out there. She'd be like, I'm not stupid. And that's the thing is like, I always, even when I did drugs, man, I always thought I was hiding it. But I was only fooling myself. And then, so those few days after, it wasn't even because she said she wouldn't kiss me, because it was truly something that I wanted to stop. It was stupid. It made your breath stink. It wasn't something that was good for you. And so I stopped. And that was the one thing that throughout all of my early recovery was like having that self-discipline, having the discipline to be able to say, no, I'm not going to do it. And then once you won that little battle, the next one came easier.
Yeah, because you build trust in yourself and confidence. I feel personally, I build a trust and confidence in myself, knowing that, hey man, I defeated this. This is my next goal, right? And setting those attainable goals. And
if I could do that, this is going to be nothing, right?
And embracing the suck, man. And, sometimes it sucks because again, it goes back to, like I said, we know how to self-medicate. Like that anxiety you were just speaking of, you knew how to take care of that. You knew how to make that go away and feel better. You are already wired that way, and that's part of your body's EMS system, right? It's already saying, Jonnie, you're freaking out. Jonnie, you got anxiety. You know what to do, Jonnie. You know what to do.
I see it with my own son nowadays, too, cause I'm not, his mom's he goes over there, if her arm hurts or something, she's got to take 3 Tylenol, and it's like I don't take anything today. I just don't. I don't need it. Even with a headache, the first thing I do is just drink water. It's 9 times out of 10 I'm a little dehydrated, but I see that in him now. He's like, "Oh, Dad, you got Tylenol?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's in the other room, But I see that, I got to do something. I got to take care of this. I got to do this. And it's instead of just saying, "You got it, God, you got me,"
and doing it naturally. There are a time and place for those things.
100%.
But don't run to it every time, right?
That's the part that I was
Don't
getting
run to the bottle
yeah.
every time, or the man-made vice, right?
Right?
There is a way to treat it naturally. God made beautiful things in this world, right? And a lot of it is water. Maybe it's a nutrient, maybe it's rest, maybe it's stress, maybe you need a massage. Maybe there's something else that you can do to relieve this tension, headache, or whatever it may be going on. But you're right. Unfortunately, in this world, everything, and it's a fallen world, is geared towards that. Social media, video games, movies, TV, radio channels. I mean, we get what we put in comes out. That's just the way it is. The enemy's good. I give him zero power, but this is his playground. We just got to mind our business, man. Know the truth and keep our blinders on and focus. Like Simon, getting out of the boat. What did he need to focus on? Ye of little faith.
What's the Bible say? Deny him and he will flee, or what? I don't remember. I'm not a scripture quoter, but
Yeah, I'm not either, but I know exactly what you're saying. Yes, and you're 110. And right. So he can only do, Jesus and some praise and worship. He gone. He gone. He don't want to hear that. He don't want nothing to do with it. But we can't be caught up in it. That's why even in my family of the kids and all that, they come home and they're like, oh, so-and-so's got a phone and and you guys are so strict and they're allowed to watch our movies. And, we let them feel what you feel. Tell me about it. Let's talk about it. Let's round table
you think
this.
keeping you accountable is strict, then
Hey, well, I always tell them I'm here to be your parent, not your buddy, right? Buddies hang out under the bridge and drink beer together. I'm your parent. And that's plain and simple. My job is to guide you through life as a Christian woman or man, get you to the 18 as an adult to be productive and on the right track. After that, do as you do. I hope you stick to the program. But I have to build that program. I have to be those bumpers on the bowling alley. The ball doesn't go in the gutter and hits the pins every time. As when you turn 18, those bumpers go away. I hope you don't end up a gutter ball, man. I really don't. And I'm hoping that us as parents are guiding you the right way, and that's we do our best, right? It doesn't come with a booklet. It doesn't come with a handbook. Turn to page 3 when your kid acts this way. But I always tell them the Bible is our owner's manual, right? And that's what we reflect our family on. Basic instructions before leaving Earth, Bible. So that's your owner's manual. I refer back to this, and I always tell my kids at the table, like, okay, if Jesus was sitting here right now, would he think this is okay? But would he say, absolutely, act this way, do this, or try this? No. Okay. Then we go no further. It's not up for debate, okay? We're going to live by the law, and that's it. This is what the word says. Let's go with it. And I think that model has worked well in my family. Yeah. It's worked well in my life. So copy and
I'm
paste.
the bad guy. I'm the one that makes him take the garbage out, makes him fold his laundry. Makes him cook his food.
How dare you?
And yeah. So, of course, if you get all that stuff kind of handed to you, that's where you want to spend the most time. But,
bingo. So you have the other parent that's a little more lax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great. Me and her get along great. I mean, there's nothing. I'm not, we just parent differently. We think differently, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But my son's in God's hands. He's 15 this year, so he'll be 16 in October. So that's just.
He's there, brother. He's
it.
there. But you're giving him good work ethic and ownership of things and accountability. See, we have the same scenario because, again, like I said in the beginning, a blended family, right? So her previous marriage, she had the 4 kids, and I've raised them since they were little guys when I walked into her life 9 years ago. Same thing. They go down there twice a month to Miami, and it's like Peter Pan. We call it Peter Pan. It's all dreamlands, lollipops, unicorns, Willy Wonka. Of course, they're like, oh, I love it down there. We could stay up late and we could eat whatever we want. And they live here.
And then they come back. You're like, did you forget how to like life?
That's what my wife says. She goes, we got to reprogram again. I'm like, what happened?
What do you mean you're taking a shower tomorrow?
They don't want to eat salmon and asparagus. They want cookies and chips. I'm like, welcome back to the reality, right? Or clean the room.
But the same thing like with my dad, man. And like even when my mom used to tell me stuff when I was a kid, like she was right. They were right. Yeah. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to do what they wanted me to do. But I pray and I hope that that's the same thing that's going to happen with my son. And same thing. We're blended too. We got my wife had 3, which I kind of married into the grandparenthood.
Awesome.
Not right away, but it happened quicker because of her, her kids,
right.
My kids as well. But,
and how's that? How's a grandparent?
Dude, best thing
awesome.
Ever. Best thing ever.
I ain't there yet, man. I should be.
We wanted to have a child of our own, and we were like at that point, and we were sitting there at Denny's, and we're both, she's 3 years older than me. I'll be 40 this year, and we're both like. Heard like 3 toddlers behind us at a Denny's like jumping up and down on the table, and we're like, you sure you want to do this? Yeah. And then like a week later her oldest son told us that his wife was pregnant. We're like, let's just be grandparents. We both brought life into the world, and number 5 will be out next month. So
that is totally the same story as me and my wife, because when we got together 9 years ago, so we'd say probably about 8 to 7 year period, she would always ask me, look at me. She goes, don't you want another one? We would make such great babies. Da, 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 da. And how am I supposed to deny this beautiful woman? Right. a desire that she wants, And I just said, listen, let's pray about it and talk about it. Let's be real about it. We've proven, we've got trophies. Look at these trophies around here. They're running around eating everything and tearing everything up right now. We can raise these. We can make them. We have both proven that, right? Now, if God gave us this, then it is what it is. But let's talk about our will. Let's think about this. Here we go. Here comes the steps, right? Biblical. And so we did. We thought about it. We prayed about it, and we did the same exact reflection. We go, you know what? At that time I was 44 maybe, or 43, whatever.
You start counting the years, like, well, I'll be 60.
18, right? You go.
When they're then like, I'm like, well, don't we want to travel the world?
Bingo. That's what we're talking about.
Maybe
like, when are we going to retire? When are we going to travel?
Yeah.
And if I'm walking her or him across the stage at 60 something years old,
right?
What if I've been to pins by then, right? Like, what am I doing in my life at this point? Like, what if?
And then not being selfish, because we're still grandparents, we still raise great kids, but the beaches of Spain would be nice to,
right. I mean, imagine that. Go camping, go do this, go do that, travel.
And she's my best. She's my adventure partner. So it's
bestie, right? And my wife is too. And so we actually came to the same conclusion together. It wasn't I don't want it, you want it kind of deal. Because if we would have sat there and she said, no, I don't see a problem, and this is something I want to move forward with, we would be having baby number 8. I'm going to give my wife what she wants as a woman, absolutely. But we both decided that was probably best, and we'll wait for grandkids, because we do want to enjoy what we've worked so hard our whole lives and gone through so much, to where it's not. Now, we also are at the same page even today. If God blessed us, we're going to do we're going to do exactly what everybody else has done, raise them. Yeah. So it is what it is. But
we even talked about that too. We talked about adoption and and it's nothing is off the table, but it's just where we're at right now. This season of our life is we're just enjoying our grandbabies, and there's too many. But it's such a blessing, man.
Yeah. Well, just think like your little vacation. The Turks. That was wonderful, right? Good reset.
That was the best 3 days of my life. I've never had a better time.
At the same time is tough.
Yeah.
So those would have to wait, right? And those moments pass before you know it, you're 50, like me, 60. And now you're trying to hit Caicos, right?
Yeah.
At 60 years old.
Hip all out of shape. And no, I'm going to be ripped when I'm 60. I'm going to be
Me too. I'm going to rip it up, dude. I mean, I try to stay the best I can at 50. But that don't mean our bodies are our bodies, right? We only got so many miles on these things.
You can't buy a hip on Amazon.
Right. So, you hit the jet ski, you wrench your back out, you can't move. Okay, can't do that. Can't snorkel.
Nope.
Ain't hiking the mountain to the waterfall. You're just like, looks good from here, snapping shots, just... Man, I wish I did this 20 years ago. So, yeah, don't miss the moments, right?
I love it, man.
Our will. It's our will. We got to be careful with that. But, yeah, God bless us.
Talk about real quick. I mean, I don't want to, with awesome conversation, talk about, let's hear one of your most adverse moments in the last 9 years of everything you've gotten up to this point.
Adverse meaning what?
Like probably your most difficult time and how you got through it.
My most difficult time in the past 9 years.
Yes, sir.
Between my wife.
Just in general. I mean, it doesn't have, but yeah.
I think
discipline, legacy. I want to hear.
I think some of the most difficult things, even today, currently, is me and my wife work together. We run a business together.
Okay.
I started the electrical contracting business and hired my wife on. She worked for NextAir FPL, and hired her into the company.
So she was doing good working for FPL
absolutely,
too. Yeah,
absolutely. And she's doing good now.
Yeah.
But that is something that you have to be biblically strong and very close to your spouse, because that's something you have to die to yourself daily. Both people. Pride and ego have to be left out of everything. And it is very difficult. It's difficult for a marriage, okay? And
just marriage alone without working together.
Right, marriage is tough as it is.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, I go to work to get away from my wife. I don't want to
Right, and these are facts, right? And that's healthy, absolutely healthy, right? And that me and my wife don't have that, because we're working together, we're living together, we're lifing together. So we don't have that. We are literally tied at the hips, which we love.
It can make your relationship stronger, though, too, if you can overcome it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we do. We fight the good fight. But that is probably the hardest thing, right, all through the 9 years, is navigating family life, business life, marriage, all twined into one ball. We've had a lot of couples and people that have talked to us, even at conferences and everything. How do you guys do it, and how are you still married? Well, for one, we have a rule. There's no divorce. We're married. We're married, right? We're married. So if we get tired of each other, we go take a nap. We hash it out that way, but we always refer back to the Lord and the Word. There's nothing we can't fix through the Bible, through what God has promised us and He said. There's absolutely nothing. And my wife's in recovery too now. She came in later in life realizing that she had her own hurts, habits, and hang-ups to deal with. And beautiful enough, she just finished her very first step study. She's actually getting ready to give her mini testimony coming up. And so now it's nice because we can work these steps together and make amends immediately and work things across and figure things out and figure out our part. And it helps navigate now to where she's aware of her side, so I'm working on my side, and together it really does help. But it's still, man, it's a daily thing. You know, I wish I could tell somebody, yeah, you should start a business and get your wife involved. You guys would be so happy. It'd be amazing. I will warn everybody, don't do it.
No, I helped my wife with her cleaning business, and she took it and ran with it. I did she didn't even speak English when I met her, so like just getting her past like being able to talk to people and be okay with it was one thing, but just the normal business stuff like creating the LLC, doing the little things that she just wasn't able to do in the beginning. And we bump heads with that because she tells me all this stuff like, oh, this person called in sick. And I'm like, well, and I just say stuff like trying to help. Well, maybe so-and-so can help you today. She's like, no, you don't understand. And I'm like, all right, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And we have
it's reacting out of emotion, right? 10 minutes later, you don't, and that's why I keep the mouth shut now, but 10 minutes later, you don't mean what you said if something gets said, but now there's a resentment. Now you're taking it home with you.
Right. And here we go to work all this out again. Thank God, though, you're in recovery, right? And you're where you are with the Lord because you can identify these things. Before we never did. I never did. It was always your problem, your fault. You snapped at me.
You got food on the table. There's money in the bank account.
Yeah. You deserve everything you get, right? And that's horrible.
Yeah.
Today, and it's not that I'm a coward. It's not that I'm weak. It's not that I any of that. My man card's strong.
No.
But my wife is my wife, and it's okay to succumb to my wife and talk to my wife about feelings, problems, issues, and say, hey, cool.
Yeah.
You got this. Because what am I getting out of that? You know, literally, besides my ego and pride, like, oh, I told her. Yeah,
that's true.
You know, right?
It's
so
true. You
I'm going
nothing from it.
Nothing. I'm going nowhere.
That's what I told her. It's so much more important for us to get through hard times, battles together. The enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. He wants us apart. He wants us at each other's throats. And she's Latin. My wife's Latin. So it used to be 3 days. She'd be mad. Yeah. And like now it's like 3-4 hours, but she's gotten better. And I'm like, I'm just like 10 minutes after I'm good. Like whatever. Like, why can't you just give it up too? But
that's progression, not perfection. Right. And that's what we all work towards.
Yeah.
But you're understanding about it because of where you are and your walk, and her walk is watching you walk your walk, and it's just a beautiful thing. And that's where me and my wife are, and that is the hardest thing.
Yeah,
is navigating that.
Well, I think any relationship, whether recovery, not recovery, in general, is even work relationships with people, your business partners, relationships in general are difficult. And but the people that you spend the most time with are usually the ones that we hurt the most, right? And that can definitely be difficult if you're not on a path of wanting to mend that relationship or wanting to change. That's 100 and 100 is what I tell people. It's not 50-50. We both got to be given 100% to make it work. And we're going to change. We're going to adapt over time. Me and my wife are such different people than when we first met.
That's funny you said that because it's a conversation that we had just recently because we're in and out of therapy. We go to marriage counseling because we need professionals involved. We do recovery together. Well. We do the Lord.
Have you done the love language book yet?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
So we go through all that because we are, and we know this, we are growing old together.
Yes.
We're growing together. And that's the key is growing. We're getting to know each other on a daily basis. It isn't like, oh, I know who Jonnie is.
Right.
Yep, same old Jonnie. No, Jonnie changes.
100%.
Your wife changes. I change. My wife changes. Hormones, emotions, things that happen in life, passing away of parents, kids. Dude, it's if we don't slow down and live in the moment and realize and love each other like we said, be patient, be slow to anger, just like the Lord has taught us, and really be observant of each other as a marriage, because it's God and our covenant, right? Then yeah, we could get sidetracked quick, and the enemy loves it. Devour us, so split us up, devour, then get the kids, and man, he's winning.
Yep.
But we don't let that happen.
No.
We keep them hedges high, and no matter what, like I said,
We
get tired of each other.
The thing is, he can't win.
No, go take a nap. He's already lost.
Yeah.
I read the book. I know the ending.
He's under our
nice
feet.
try, buddy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in this fallen world, people don't know the truth. Like Adam and Eve just didn't know the truth. Oh, but he didn't say that. We'll just eat the fruit. Clear. And there we are. The Lord went on to 40 days and 40 nights in the woods to start his ministry when he was baptized, right? But he was tempted 3 times by the enemy. The only thing that defeated him was the truth, that he knew the scripture never said what he's saying it said. No, that is wrong. And that's where men of valor that we are, and women that are strong in Christ and the word, they have all the armor in the world. The 66 books of armor cannot be pierced. The truth is the truth. The enemy doesn't. The enemy's going to try, though. He's like, nah, I don't really say that. That's not what it is. You're not worth it. You don't deserve these things in the world. And all of that energy and influence is out there, and we just have to stay armored up, man. We just have to stay armored up. Like I said, discipline and legacy. Got to keep it strong.
Man. Awesome.
Love it.
Talk about how Ehman Electric started.
So I was running the Hard Rock Hotel and 2 high rises down in Fort Lauderdale. And
when you say running them, you were working
I was
for
the
a
general.
company?
Yeah, I was working for a company. I'll leave the company's name out of it, but I was working for a company, and I was the general superintendent. So I was the main dog, and then I had the superintendents and foremans under me. Had about I think we got up to almost 300 at one point, and running these jobs, man, making a lot of money for the companies, and like I said, my wife was working for FPL Nextera, and it was cool. I was good. I was used to this. Travel the country, did it for years and years and years, built in prisons, hotels, stadiums, Miami Dolphin, all these football stadiums, everything. I was all over. But I got beat up on a bonus, and I was getting hardballed, and one guy came in, was trying to take my position because he had nowhere to go. He finished a job up north in Ocala, and they were buddied up, and it just made me feel some type of way. In the path I was taking in life, I didn't feel appreciated, and I would come home and express this to my wife, because that was my little outlet. I'd come home and we'd just talk about, how was your day? Well, it sucked. Yeah. And elaborate, right? So I did. And so one night she goes, well, have you ever thought about just opening your own? I mean, you do all this yourself, you make all this money for everybody, why don't you do it yourself? And I told her, I said, you crazy? I said, if I do that, then I don't have a paycheck, and and here I am worrying, right? I don't have a paycheck. I don't have this. I have to do this. I have to get a van. And I make every excuse in the book. So she truly did turn to me and said, listen, and she pulled my man card. She goes, you are no sissy, all right? You're a man's man. You fight. You're a jiu-jitsu fighter. You fight in the rings. You do all this competition. You're a tough guy. You're in the gym, and now you're acting soft.
Wow.
And then she called me straight out, looked at me, and I was like, man, I told her too. I said, that kind of stings. But yeah, she goes,
But you're also man of God.
Man of God.
Stepping out in faith is exactly what this is, right? Going from.
So by her doing that, yep. Yeah. So by her doing that, it made me think about all these things. First, it went into my emotions, don't react. And I started processing. I'm like, you know what? She's right. The only shot, I've always told her, the only shot you miss is the one you don't take. She told me, you've got 3 master's licenses from different states. Go take the Florida one, activate it, start your company. So I did. I went and took the license, a test, passed it, boom, activated the company. I had $10,000. We freed up a couple little things on the credit, opened it up, and went and bought a little van, man. And didn't even have a logo on it. Didn't have shirts or nothing. And for 2 weeks, COVID was started. So what I did was I touched this guy on the back, and they send you home for 2 weeks as quarantine, right? Okay. So that's what happened. I got quarantined for 2 weeks with pay. And during those 2 weeks, I started my business. And we took off from that day. Phone calls, our first service call was right down the street. And from that day forward, it was fine. As a matter of fact, I got a call about coming back to work, and it was a meeting over phone on my back porch. And I was just like, you know what? I don't know if I can make it back, with COVID and all that. I was like, I don't know. And the guy's like, well, it's okay. We got a guy for your position if you don't want to come back, and this, that, and the other. So they paid me my severance, and that was it. We broke ties. And today, 6 years later, Eman Electric stands. You know, quite a bit of employees and quite a bit of vans on the road. And
Now, I know you want to be humble in explaining that, but I want you to tell me, where your business stands today, because so that people can see and vision that don't know you. And
yeah,
don't know,
so
haven't
we
seen
started
any-
off with $10,000 in a dream, and that's like I said, you had to have that to start the company. When I started, it obviously was zero paycheck and no idea what was going to happen. Within the 6 years, we'll be on 6 years, I think, this year. We started in 2020, June. So June of 2026 will be 6 years. This month is our anniversary, and we are, I think we cleared 10 million in revenue last year, and we have 20 something vans and 40 to we flex in and out anywhere between 30 to 50 employees depending on the workload. And that's where we've been running strong today in 6 years.
That's awesome, man.
And yeah, it's something
I see you guys everywhere.
It is something that we've worked hard at. We brought a lot of talent. My wife brought a lot of talent to the table because I hired my wife. She worked for me, and she brought a lot of talent to the table for the office side, Excel sheets and all that. That's just not who I am. I'm not a computer guru, but I can make anything blink, spin. I can light you up. But yeah, it takes a special person that can do Microsoft Word and all these cool things. So that's her little niche. My niche is bringing in the contracts, the budgets, the estimates and all that, and training those guys from there, executing everything and keeping us profitable and running, training my guys from the inside out. And we owe all that to the Lord because me and my wife are Christian, and we keep God centered in our family and our business as best as we can through all the chaos. Right? We fall. We're human. Yes. We fall, but we pick ourselves up and bring ourselves right back where we should be every time. And today, this year has been slow. But even being slow, we are still maintaining that manpower, the vans on the road, and our revenue is maintaining right around that. So hopefully this year we still hit right around that 10 to 12 million. We'll see in revenue, which is amazing for a company of only that short. Usually don't make it 5 years, man.
I didn't realize it until somebody said it, because I'm in the same way. I'm like, yeah, it's all God, and I really just want to give him the glory and everything. But somebody's like, Jonnie, look at what you've done. And not necessarily me, but definitely the team, because you hit the nail on the head. We can't do things on our own. I was always that guy my whole life where I'm like, I got this, I can do this. And pride and ego always took me to my knees. And now I know today, I just had a meeting before we came in here. It was like, look, I want to surround myself with people who know the stuff that are smarter than me, know the stuff I don't know how to do, build an amazing team, be a leader, to the point where if I'm standing here and I say, guys, we got to run into this burning building, they're going to come run into that burning building with me and follow, and I'm learning this, all these things, every step of this, God is conditioning me for the next step. And, but you want to stay humble. You want to
stay humble, man. And it can be tough. It can be tough,
especially in construction, because you have to have a certain kind of
mentality.
Yes.
Right. And not only that, my past creeps in all the time. My little ego and
That's
pride.
what I tell people. I'm not
Tim
perfect,
likes to
man.
show
I
up.
cuss.
Dude,
I fall short. I yell at people.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect at all.
The old Tim shows up on a regular, but I recognize him, and when he does, I put him in check. And that's why I suffer from Tim and Life on Its Terms, man, because that's my life, man, in a nutshell. But I'm honest about it. I'm open about it. I bring all those sins to light, and I don't try to hide behind some fake facade. I am who I am, and I'm going to be a better man every day. And that's it. That's all I can be. If I want to lie and be dishonest and put the representative out there again and be like, hey, it's Tim. He's perfect, dude. He's all good. No, man. No, I'm a fallen man. But Lord Jesus, I identify myself as a son of God today, and anything's possible. Anything is possible with him. Absolutely anything. And if he can take a man like me that I thought I was completely useless, hopeless, and had no way out, and my life was over. I mean, I tried to kill myself and everything else. And to where I am today, he can do that with anybody. Right. Any man can do anything another man can do, especially with the Lord. But we have to change our mindsets. And that's what, even internally in my business, I help my guys. I get in the trenches with them. We train, we talk, we have relationships. And we do this. I do this on a regular because I want that vibe We do summer picnic events together. We do Kona Ice and bring the families out. I want to know your kids. I want to know your wife, because they're the ones sacrificing. They're giving me you more time than you spend with them. And I would love to appreciate them and thank them and say, hey.
And they appreciate you too for it, you know? So that's the biggest thing, is it?
It is. It is. And it's that humble thing, you know?
And that takes us into the next thing, is that the legacy, right? That's the legacy that we have now that we want to leave. And you know, what does that look like for you? What kind of impact is it that when Tim isn't here anymore?
You know, it's been a discussion even with my wife. You know, what's our exit strategy, as we say, or our next step? Because we have kids, and I would love to pass it down to kids or a man that wants to come
I tell
along.
people all the time, my son doesn't want to run a bulldozer.
Nope.
He doesn't want
And
to.
my two kids don't. My one kid's going to the Navy. The other
Maybe
one's,
not yet. Maybe he'll change his mind.
my other son, he's off somewhere else. But I gotta tell you, they're all interested in trades, right? So, which is crazy, awesome.
Yeah, my son wants to be a fireman.
Right, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Do it. My son wanted that, but then he realized it was a lot harder than he thought. So now he's changing to the Navy. Like, that's easier. But sure, go for it, dude. Take the shot. Take the shot. That's it. Go. You're young. Do it. Do it all.
That's what he came to me whenever he was real little, and I was like, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to be a YouTuber. I'm like, all right. What do you need? Well, like, here's the microphone. Here's the camera. You know, I was his first subscriber. Like, you know, like
yes.
like
yes.
there, whatever you want to do, I'm there, brother.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
And that's it. We support their dreams, right? To a point. Some of it we got to reel them in a little bit, like, but you know, my kids are. Hopefully, that would be the legacy. We pass it on. If not, then I want to pass it on to some of the employees. All my employees that I have today, most of them are original. I've guys that have been with me for almost 6 years. I have guys with 5 years, that have stuck. We have grown together, gone through the wars together, the trenches together, the paint, the blood, everything. And those guys deserve it. And if that's what they would want, fire me and take over. I will gladly pass it on, you know, with, of course, my tie to it a little bit, but that would be the legacy that then they would be able to maybe pass on, and it would go on for generational wealth for everybody, and not just me. I look at the bigger picture. It takes a team, and there's no I in team. And if these guys helped me build this, then they deserve to help. They deserve whatever they've reaped, right? Yeah. Sown, reap whatever they've sown. And
especially if you got guys like that too, because if you got guys that treat it like it's their own, and you know, I was always that way, and when you see people that are that way, we try to hold on to them too, and we take care of our guys. They're paid very well, and
right. And the cool thing about that is, you know, here's the reality. I'm going to be 60. I'm going to be 70. Do I really want to lie to myself and be like, I'm going to do this forever? I'm not. That's the reality of it. So if the empire grows to a size that could be lucrative for even the guys who helped build it, it wasn't me, it was us, then why wouldn't I? Yeah. You know, why wouldn't I? And biblically, what stands in my way of doing that? One guy asked me, he goes, Tim, would you ever sell? I'm like, I'm not going to sell it. I would rather pass it down than sell it. If a guy comes in and gives me monetary value of X amount of dollars and says, I'll buy your business right now, turn it over to me, it sounds beautiful. All the money, woo, here we go. I promise you the gold, riches, and jewelry, it's all yours. Yeah. But truly, is my heart as a man, as a Christian man, I would rather pass it on to you guys and have you continue on, and maybe it continues that way to where even when I'm gone and I've got better riches than you do today, then here you are and you're setting up your family and maybe someone else's family. And I pray that goes on forever, to where, who knows, right? Because where else do you get a ground floor opportunity to build a business from the ground up and make it yours, and then the guy sells it? Yeah, everybody's jobless. I mean, that's...
Well, hopefully. I was part of that. So I used to work for Rick Mansell, and whenever he sold to CWR, and it was like, you know, it wasn't bad, but obviously, you know, I was a dirt guy, and I saw they were paving and doing all this stuff. Like, I could see the writing on the walls, like, you know, the dirt stuff isn't going to keep going. So I got out of it. And, but I mean, it was, yeah, I mean, blessing in disguise. You never know. Adam is. I tell people all the time, I said, I wouldn't be here still with them. You know, it'll be 4 years next month that I've actually worked there, and since land development started. So, and man, there's the good times, there's the bad times, man, but that's business. That's, you know, and you got to get through it no matter what. That's what I tell people. You get in a car accident, and you can look at it like, oh, this is the worst part of my life, or you can look at it like, hey, I'm good, I'm safe. No matter what, you got to go through it. So it's all about how you perceive it, and so.
And that's life, man. And there he goes. Life be life. And we got to just take it life on its terms. And that's what I struggle with, because I want to take will and control, get in my feelings, ego, pride, bang, bang, bang. Old Tim shows up again. And just like you said, we rear that ugly, our hair stands up and here we are. This sucks. But does it? Back to that gratitude list. But does it? No. Where was I 10 years ago? I was behind bars eating bologna sandwiches and fighting for bread. Really? Yeah. Really? Good. Get over yourself, man. Yeah. Like, come on. It isn't that bad. And there's always worse out there. So just be blessed and just let it go.
So with that, I guess obviously we have our kids, we have what we would say to them, but if there was a young entrepreneur that was coming up, somebody that may be watching this, that you got that word of advice for them, what would that be, that wants to maybe move in the direction that you're moving in with your career and things like that?
Yeah, the younger guys, man, or ladies, especially the women too. Especially in this day and age, there's a lot of strong entrepreneur women out there. There are big time. Now your wife, like you said, a clean business, right? So yeah, take the shot. Don't be scared, right? Step out in faith, pray about it, and and take that shot. But get around people, wise men or women that have walked the walk, right? Have the meetings, talk to them, have lunch, and don't be afraid to come up and say something. Hey, how you doing? Let's meet. Because they've got a lot of knowledge and wisdom that a lot of people are willing to pass on to you to help you avoid the pitfalls and the trenches and bumping your head that could really help you out in the beginning to set you up for success or a fast track to success. And when I say success, I don't mean all the jewelry and gold and stuff like that. I mean a business that could be a paycheck to where you could live comfortably and it's yours and you're clocking in and out for yourself. That's success. You can build the monster how you want, right? But if that is your dream to do it, do it. The other part of it, the ugly side of it is this. It's not rainbows and unicorns owning a business. It's 8 days a week, 25 hours a day, and it's your baby. So it's up to you.
But in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it will get easier. Like you said, you build it as if you want to. If you want to keep building it, it's going to be still be 25-hour days.
Yeah.
But even, with my lawn business before, I knew the first 5 years I was going to have to work my butt off.
Your butt off, right. So, and that's the part of opening a business. Some people, I think, and these are my assumptions. It doesn't mean any of my perceptions, which don't mean truth. But some people, I think, get sold the golden ticket, open a business, and you're good. And it is not that.
I think it's that way with being a Christian too. People think that, hey, just be coming on over, be a follower and believer. Everything's
gonna be solid.
No, it's difficult.
God's gonna come down.
You're gonna be attacked more.
Yeah.
You're gonna have more struggles. You're gonna have more trials. But overcoming those help you to get to the next level. And anybody that's successful, if you ask them that, and I'm sure you could vouch for it too, is that failure is what created you the strength, and overcoming it, and it's created the strength.
Amen. I always say you have to be a really good loser to be a really good winner. Yeah. You have to be good at losing, man, because in order to accept that and know how to navigate it and deal with it emotionally, physically, spiritually, it has to happen. Yeah. Look at the 12 disciples. Yeah. What? Like, dude, come on. They failed, got stoned, got killed, got chopped up.
But the coolest thing about them, though, is they got to hang out with Jesus.
Man, I get to one day.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
He hangs out with me on a daily basis, man. I don't ever have to ask for the Holy Spirit to come in the room because he's already within me.
Hanging.
He's already here.
To physically hang out with Jesus, though, man,
yes.
They were playing dominoes. They were hanging out.
The good thing is that, like, we don't have to be fanboys. Like, whenever we're in front of them, it's like, I know you already. Yes. Like, we have been. And
that's something that you're not there by works, right? And
right.
People got to realize that. And I think that's some of the Christian sales. It's not the Christian sales. I'm gonna rebuke that statement because that's not proper. That's some of the religious sales that people hear. Like, once you're this and that and the other, and you got to do this and you got to do that, and this is how you get to heaven. And it's your heart, man. Because I'm a sinner saved by grace, and I do cuss, but I repent that, and I deal with that with my Father. I don't have to worry about the world. And I do sin, and I do make mistakes, and I do fall. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to go to heaven. Okay. So I think some of that is blown up to where it can be intimidating.
Well, that's the
for
religion
somebody.
part.
Right.
That's the religion
right.
part.
And it can be really intimidating for a new person that wants to come over, that wants to try God, that wants to change. Went to a rehab just recently, brought in a meeting, and one of the guys told me, sitting there, he goes, I've tried it all. I don't think I'm worth it. I says, I just keep ending up in these places. So we got on the God thing. He goes, let me tell you something, Tim. Every time I talk to somebody about God and how they this, that, and the other, he goes, I will tell you this. I've never heard a bad part of that. And I just looked at him. I said, okay, cool. So what do you think? He goes, I think this time when I get out, I'm going to try Jesus. That was beautiful, man. The mustard seed was planted. The water was poured. Let's see what happens with this guy's life. What are you going to lose, man? Like, where you are to where you can be is, like, unbelievable. And if you don't believe, go hang out with guys that do and get the knowledge, go into the Word, and try to disprove it. Just do it. Go for it. And go from there. That's what I did. That's how I got my belief.
I don't even think I was, like,
faith.
trying to disprove it, but I just think that there was so much evidence of, like, no coincidences. Like, there was just so much evidence of it being real that, like, there was no way you could disprove it.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, I didn't try to disprove it. There was more so seeing all of the evidence of it being real is because I'm the same way. Like, I got to see it, feel it, touch it.
Yeah.
Like, and then after looking back, it's like, man, he was there. He's there now. He's like, there's no other way to explain situations that are happening in my life other than God.
Yeah, even through all the trials and tribulation I went through when I was running and gunning. I mean, even locked up. I mean, even before I got to Faith Farm, one of the things that I can relate to that I knew God was moving was where he put me right as my grandmother passed. I was moved out into a solitary confinement cell for doing some things I shouldn't have done, and I was held by myself in a little box, knowing that how I was going to react. The Lord knew that I'm going to hold him still. I'm going to be okay. We're going to sit here, and he's going to go through this process. And thank God I was in there, man. Thank him today, because I don't know what would have happened at that, because I did lose it. I mean, bad. And that was tough for me. But God knew what to do. He just knew. He just knew. Like, okay, fine.
Well, you talk about solitary, or the word solitary, and then there's a difference between being isolated and being in solitude. Like, Jesus went to the garden to pray in solitude. Yeah. And that's taking that time, like you said, and God put you there as a moment of reflection, a moment of to have everybody else out of the way, so you're able to take that time and utilize it to grow from it, versus, like you said, being around people and you can still be in the same room with people and feel isolated.
Oh God, easy.
and that, running through your mind, but instead you're in solitude, right? You were able to take that moment
and that whole moment was when I ended up taking that plea. Okay. Because I processed, I mourned, I dealt with it, I cried. I got angry. I punched walls. I did so much, and but it was a good 2 weeks of my life in there that I reflected on my actions, where I was, what I did, why I was there. I was able to say goodbye to her. I didn't get nothing, right? So, I mean, I had to process this, man, and it was tough. And then that's when I was like, this plea, I can get out. I can see my sister. I can do this, that, and the other, and it's just everything. And it was a great time for me to process and decide. Because I don't know, even in there, I may have hurt somebody, hurt people. I was in a fight. I might have taken some. I might have lost my mind. I don't even know. Because I had enemies in there, man. I mean, it's jail. It is what it is. And it could have led me down more charges, darker roads. And it's just, God is just good, man. He had me right where I needed to be during that time. Zero. Yeah. And it got me back to where I was. It got me to the farm. It got me in those church. It got me to CR. It got me into his arms. And that's the path that led that whole little lineage. And today I see that, but then not a clue. I fought it tooth and nail, man. Like, nothing meant anything to me. Everything was a coincidence, and I just lived 1 second at a time, man. And it was all Tim's will, right? Yeah. How I wanted it. If I didn't have it, I'd get it, and I made it work. And it wasn't good. It never was good. I proved that over and over. Yeah. Every time. I crashed the car every time. totally destroyed it, totaled it.
I tell people it was the mansion. I burned the mansion down.
There you go.
Build
Burn
it
that
up.
sucker down.
Light a match.
Walked away. Boom. Gone.
Multiple times in my life.
Super. Yeah. So
But he spared us, man.
we here.
Yeah.
We here.
Awesome conversation, man.
Super awesome.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming.
No, I thank you for having me.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
You know, that's it, man. I think we've covered a lot of bases besides, you know.
What do you got going on now? I mean, I think you talked about it a little bit, but obviously I think truly legacy that you got going on right now is helping other men.
Today, I lead step studies for men. I am heavily involved in the churches. I tell God's redemptive story in my life a lot. I go to Recovery Church and many other CRs, many other NAAs and facilities, prisons on Monday, and I just bring what God's done in my life to other men and women and the sick and suffering that just don't see any honesty, hope, and faith in their life right now. That there is a way out, there is a change, you know, and that's really what I'm in more than anything now. Besides my business and my family, is making sure that my recovery and I feel it in my heart right now. My season now is letting that God's redemptive testimony in my life be known, man. Just like, hey, you know, He's there, He's real. Let the miracle happen. Sit still, man. Sit still. Don't run. Don't hide. Don't medicate. Let's just do this life thing on life's terms. We got this. We got this. Men need to stick together.
You said it right there. We got this. And it may be you and God, or you and the people that God places in your life, and it's understanding and realizing that
He calls me friend, and I talk to Him as a friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say it, that's my homeboy. And then people are like, man, you can't talk to God that way. I'm like,
listen,
yes, I can. That's my friend.
At the end of this thing, it ain't you and him and me at the pearling gates. It ain't anybody else but me and him standing there at the gate. So we got our thing. We got our relationship.
Bro, that we have. He knows me. He wired me. He built me. And if He's my friend, then we talk like friends. I sit at my fire pit at night and we talk. Yeah. Like, I will sit there. I'm glad it's not recorded. I'd probably get locked up. But I sit and chat, man. Yeah. Like, I tell him, I get mad with him. I gripe at him, you know? But that's what
that's your relationship that you have.
You have to do that. How does God give you what you need?
That's the only thing that, you know, spirituality is a relationship with God. He just wants you to talk to Him, to be talk and listen, because He talks to us too. You know, if you just got to be open to it, the discernment, the you know, sometimes I don't get the answer right when I want it, but you know, 2-3 days later, it's like ding,
a door opens, something moves.
Man, and that's the way it was supposed to be. That's the way He wanted it to be. So,
it's amazing.
Completely trust and have faith in Him on a daily basis.
It's amazing. So circling back to those youngins, that's it. Give God a shot. Take your shot. Stay true to yourself. Be honest. And you know what? The worst thing that could ever happen is you try something else, right?
Where can people find you if they need some electrical work done?
You can find us online, www.emanelectric.com. You can call the business line, which is on Google. Go on to Google, type in EHMAN Electric. It'll come right up. You'll see the Google link right there. The phone number's on there. Or we're right across from the Met Stadium, right next to you guys.
Yep.
We're
Dream, right there next to Sal and
right there
Marcus with Jam-X.
And we're right there in the same street. So,
love it, man. Love it.
Yeah. Just a bunch of men and women doing business, man, back there in that corner. It's a good little place, a good little niche.
Yeah.
You know. So look us up, find us. You know, we make things happen. Give us a call. You know, you got a solid company. We show up. We pick up the phone.
Sometimes that's all you got to do.
That's really all you got to do.
I mean, sometimes they're like, man, you know, you're the first one that actually answered or called me back, and it's like, man,
I don't understand how people do that. Like, they're in business and they don't answer the phone or show up. It's a
relationship. You're building a relationship.
We go to these estimates and like, well, the other guy never showed up. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
So do you think he's going to show up if you hire him?
Right. I'm so sorry, but we're here. And here you go. Well, you weren't the cheapest, but you know what? You showed up. It's like, I can't promise that we're the cheapest, but I can tell you right now we're the best. Go for it. Prove me wrong. We got a good team, man. We got a good team.
That's awesome, man. So, guys, I mean, thank you for tuning in. Tim, thank you again for being here.
Yeah, man.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, guys. Like, share, leave us a comment. Go check him out. We're going to leave all his links in the bio as well, so you guys can go check out Eman, check him out. And thanks again, guys. We'll see you on the next one.